Hey there, everybody. Welcome into March the 5th. It is a Thursday, what I like to call a little Friday. I'm Chris Allen, and this is 270 Weather. Weather for the 270 area code and beyond. So we had some rain today and still seeing some on the radar as we look live here at 6:44 p.m. If you're watching Central Time, these showers are back here toward Cadiz. That's in, back into parts of western Kentucky in the land between the lakes, Lake Barkley, Kentucky Lake area, toward Princeton, Madisonville, getting some of those showers, but these are dissipating. The flood watch that was in effect north of us has also dissipated, but there's, some local flood warnings along some of the rivers up toward Princeton, Indiana, and Jasper, and places like that. Ohio River, a couple of flood warnings going on. So yeah, the little doo-doo-doos you're hearing there is out west. That sound. That's out west where they're experiencing some severe weather. Let me broaden the view here and let me show you. There's all kinds of different things going on. As you can see, I mean, to the north, winter weather advisories. Yeah, up in places like Minnesota, North Dakota, South Dakota. Let's see what else is going on. Some of these are for heavy rain outlooks. And then you get into this is where the active weather is getting tornado watch in effect for parts of Oklahoma and Texas. You see that right there. Western Oklahoma and the eastern Texas panhandle. Tornado watch until midnight tonight. And they're expecting a few tornadoes. In fact, possible intense, look at that, intense tornadoes possible. Again, that's in Oklahoma and Texas. Very large hail. Large hail is a possibility. 2.5 inch diameter hail. Whoo. Yeah, so that's a long way from us. And thank goodness it is. Here's the probabilities in that tornado watch 60% chance of two or more tornadoes. This is part of the new intensity levels that the Weather Service just actually released a few days ago. Yeah, just in time for March and tornado season. So this breaks it down in intensity, not just is it, marginal, is it a slight risk or, enhanced risk. Every risk now has a subcategory, if you will, and it tells you the level of intensity of whatever the outlook is showing. So in this case, where that tornado watch is in parts of Oklahoma and Texas, moderate 60% chance of two or more tornadoes. The probability of one or more strong tornadoes, EF2 to EF5, is at 40% in that area. And then they break it down from tornadoes to wind, 10 or more severe wind events, 60% chance of that. You get the idea here. Hail, the large hail. It breaks it down a little bit more, and then it shows you just who's affected. Places like Altus, Oklahoma, Weatherford, Elk City, Clinton, so forth and so on. How many people affected? 178,000. Then it starts to break it down into who's affected, how many schools, so forth and so on. It's really detailed. Here's emergency services, here's energy suppliers, government offices, finance offices, law enforcement, mining. Holy cow. public venues, home parks, mobile home parks, dialysis centers, nursing homes. Wow. Transportation, water supply. I mean, you know, in the past, we would just say, here's a watch, it covers a big area. Now we're able to break it down with all the information that we have and all the data that we have. We can break this down and to see exactly who gets affected. Everything is here except for maybe the names, individual names of the people that are in in that tornado watch. And there it is, just a little west of Oklahoma City, and it's just getting going. Fire weather watch, yeah, because of the wind, and there's a tornado watch in effect there too. And red flag warnings, that means a high fire danger back into parts of Texas and now into parts of New Mexico. I mean, there's a lot of wind energy here. And this is the next system that is going to move in. In fact, let me show you. Yeah, right there. You can see that is a enhanced risk level 3. But I was just showing you how it's broken down to affect with the different effects of not just severe thunderstorms, but a pretty good tornado risk coming out of this as well. So I mean, look at all that. It's long, long discussion there. I won't go into all that, but there's your target zone. Parts of northern Texas, the panhandle of Oklahoma, not quite to Oklahoma City, but close. And then look at this. This is a level 1 marginal risk, which is just affecting parts of our area, and it's because of the severe thunderstorm. Well, not severe thunderstorm, but some of the thunderstorms that we had earlier, they have just not let that go. So this is along that frontal boundary that's to the north of us. I don't think we're going to, the level of severe weather that we're going to see today, or day one, tonight, is not much. Most of this now has just dissipated. It's just that area, that marginal risk area is still there from the Storm Prediction Center. They just haven't released it. You can see the frontal boundary, how it's been the culprit of all of the heavy rains off to the north, the flood watch that was in effect, and then all of this that's in effect now, red flag warnings, and now a tornado watch for that part of the country. Let me take off the surface fronts and let's get rid of the warnings that are out there so we can now just take a look at the outlook areas, because we want to go through more than just what's happening right now, obviously. Let's go to day 2, which is tomorrow, and look at that. Now this, I mean, it's a big area. Enhanced risk for tomorrow, that's a level 3 out of 5. Parts of northwestern and western Missouri, eastern Kansas, eastern Oklahoma, northwestern Arkansas. That's surrounded by a level 2 slight risk area. And then the level 1 comes almost to Kentucky. But it takes on parts of Indiana, Illinois, Boot Hill, Missouri, eastern Arkansas, and then surrounds it. Now, what about Saturday, which is day 3? Well, we are here in Kentucky, we are under a level 1 marginal risk. That's the lowest end on the scale. Parts of northeastern Kentucky, up around Charleston, Huntington, and on into eastern Ohio and parts of West Virginia, that's a level 2 slight risk. That's for Saturday. Now, what about the individual threats? Tornado threat, It's going to be back there. That's tonight, back there into parts of where I showed you that tornado threat for parts of Oklahoma and a little bit of Texas. 5% tornado risk, but the conditional intensity is where we see here that all that I just showed you on that really long discussion. Here's day 2, which is tomorrow, and look at the area. My goodness. That is a huge area for a tornado threat. It is at 10%. So the threat for tornadoes tomorrow, especially in southwestern Missouri, northwestern Arkansas, and eastern Oklahoma, is higher tomorrow than it is right now. None of that, here's Kentucky, just to show you, none of that is here. Now, what about Saturday? Well, this individual risk like tornado, wind, hail, we can't show a day 3. Tomorrow, we'll be able to show you if there's going to be some kind of a risk on Saturday, but I don't think it's going to be much of a risk. It's going to be more about heavy rain, I think, on Saturday instead of tornadoes. So I just think by the time this gets here, it's going to be more about more about heavy rain than tornadoes. Now I can show you this. This is what they call the probabilistic. It's a hard word to say. Probabilistic. You have to do it real fast. This is a probabilistic outlook. All of the 270, 502, 606, the 615, the 901, the 364s, all of these areas, all those area codes are under a 5% any severe weather risk. You say, well, what is that? What the heck is that? Well, that means we have a 5% chance of seeing maybe damaging wind, maybe large hail, certainly lightning and gusty wind and heavy rain, but there's also a small 5% chance that there could be a brief spin up tornado. So it's not a big tornado risk, but it's going to be one of those that we can't say zero, okay? It's not smart to say there won't be any risk of a tornado. There's no ever is there a guarantee that it's going to be zero. All right? Just so long as you know that. So here is the summary for Saturday. It looks like what they're saying here, and I haven't read all of this, but it does look like by the time, here's our area, Ohio Valley to the lower Great Lakes. That would be us. It's going to be a level 2, looks like a level 2 slight risk area. Parts of, as the cold front comes in, the activity may not entirely decay. So what that's saying is, once the cold front approaches Saturday morning, we start getting rain and thunderstorms, there could be little decay or diminishing of the storms as they move in. So that's what we've got to watch, and we will. We will watch that on Saturday, just in case there's enough energy, the potential energy with this system that could produce maybe some 5% chance of severe weather. So we'll have to look at that. Let's see. Overall amplitudes still seem to favor non-significant severe. So that's good news, but a scattering of damaging winds, you see right there, damaging winds, a couple tornadoes, like I just said, and isolated marginally severe hail all appear plausible. These threats should wane after sunset and with eastern extent toward the Appalachians. All right. So what that's saying is what I just said. They just put it in a little more technical terms, the terminology, and they put really nice sentences in there. But that's basically what it says. What I just told you. So this is Saturday. Let's watch this, and then we'll just hopefully keep things pretty copacetic and not blowing up too much. Okay? Everybody got that? Saturday is going to be the next day to watch for potential strong to severe storms, but I still believe, just from the looks of everything, this is going to be more a heavy rain event than it is a severe weather event. And you're going to see and hear all kinds of nonsense on social media that this is going to be something much bigger than what it's going to be. I guarantee. So, all right, everybody, keep your mind and eyes and awareness, preparedness for Saturday, just in case it gets a little worse than maybe what we're looking at right now. And Saturday is also, before you go to bed, Saturday's going to be the day that you need to change your clocks as we spring ahead 1 hour. Daylight saving time starts 2 a.m. on Sunday morning. All right. Here is, I want to show this real quick. Maryland, Saturday morning or PM. It's going to be Saturday morning. Saturday morning is when the rain starts and some of the thunderstorms. But as the line begins to come in, middle of the morning to midday, even maybe early afternoon, there may be, as the front comes in, some severe weather threat. So I would just keep aware all day Saturday. Saturday night, it'll be gone. We won't have to worry about nighttime activity. Most of it will begin to fade away as we get into Saturday night. So there we go. If that changes, I'll let you know tomorrow morning on News 40 Sunrise at 6, News 40 at 9 a.m., and News 40 at noon. And then tomorrow night when I do one of these updates, I will let you know the very, very latest, because it'll be Friday. All right, let's move on. Let's take a look at some numbers. First of all, let me go to I want to go to precipitation first because of the rainfall that many of us picked up today. Now, you can look at the entire state of Kentucky and you can tell that the eastern part of the state hardly picked up anything as far as rain today, just trace amounts at best. You work your way from up here toward, say, Covington, Alexandria, Newport, right on the river next to Cincinnati, and you're looking at anywhere from a ½ inch to 3/4 of an inch. There in Boone County, Burlington, you go on down, you're talking ½ inch amounts. And then this is where the heavy rains fell today. 1 inch and 2/10 up in Meade County. That's Brandenburg, right on the Ohio River. 1 inch and 67/100 in Hawesville. Then you've got just over 1 inch in McLean County in Calhoun. But look at this. Over 2 inches of rain in Henderson. Then you got 2.5 inches of rain in Morganfield, not Morgantown, Morganfield in Union County. Over 2 inches in Dixon. That's in Webster County. And then you see, some 1 inch amounts, 1 inch and 1/3. Look at that in Greenville. That was just this morning. Greenville in Muhlenberg County got some heavy rain this morning, while we only picked up 0.05 of an inch of rain at the Corvette plant, where one of the sensors, the northern Warren County Mesonet station, picked up 0.05. The southern one Down at the Ag Expo Center, picked up 600s. Officially at the airport, where I am, 300s of an inch of rain. By the way, our high today, let me show you the numbers on that. The high today in Bowling Green was 76, 20 degrees warmer, 20 degrees warmer than the normal high of 56. And the low was 61 this morning. Let's take a look at that. Low temperatures. Yep, most everybody upper 50s to low 60s. And there's that 300ths of an inch of rain that we picked up. What are the current temperatures? It's still nice and warm, comfortable. 69 at the Corvette plant, 68 right now at 7:04 p.m. at the Ag Expo Center. Some of you are still right there at 70, like T-ville. Hey, T-ville, Tompkinsville, over home, Monroe County, 70 degrees right now. Most everybody else is in the 60s. How about the winds? I can guarantee they're from the south and southwest, but they're becoming light, so that's why you see the arrows kind of going all the different directions. But they're mostly from the south and very light. All right, we move on to the maps. And I see some of you have some questions and comments, which I'll always do at the very end. After I explain what the weather's going to do. So you guys just hang in there, okay? Let's get to the charts. Okay, here is our very wound up, squirrely, kind of snaky looking system. All these little areas of low pressure just kind of floating around this very stalled boundary. Now, the heaviest of the rains now have pushed further north and east out of Kentucky for the time being. All right, but there's still some energy here. Most of it is going to be pushed, and it is being pushed further north and east for tonight, the rest of tonight. Not going to worry about any kind of storms overnight tonight. It should be fairly quiet. Whatever I showed you on radar is about, fizzled out. So that's good. No worries tonight. Now, all of this is being forced north by this fairly decent high pressure that's out in the Atlantic, forcing that southerly flow and pushing all of this energy further north. And as we get into the day tomorrow, with that high pressure being southeast of us, the winds are really going to pick up. And it's going to be a warm day, maybe near record high temperature. As I've been talking about the last few days, the record high for tomorrow is 84 degrees, set all the way back in 1910. And I'm sticking with the 83. I'm going with 83. But if we hit 84, it would tie the record. And of course, if we get above 84, it would break that record. It's possible. The duration of the wind and the sun that we get tomorrow could very well force us to go and break that record of 84. We'll just have to wait and see. But here's midnight, stalled frontal boundary still to the north, a lot of fog up in the southern Great Lakes, parts of Illinois, Indiana, Ohio. It's possible we could see some little foggy areas here in southern Kentucky tomorrow. Any kind of rain is going to be light and to the north and mostly along the Ohio River overnight tonight. Here's 6 a.m. tomorrow. Lots of wind. Notice the lines getting closer, the isobars, equal lines of pressure, tightening up. So there will be what we call a gradient, a good wind gradient. And that wind is going to be, a good 10 to 20 miles per hour at times, and maybe even more than that, 20 to 30. It's gusts, at least, possible. And here's the thing. Here is our locked up system, but here comes the next system. We've got a closed low pressure system that's moving through Arizona, And then you've got surface lows moving out of the Rockies. And this is going to be the next piece of energy that comes our way, setting us up for Saturday. Let's go to midday, noon hour tomorrow, Friday. There you see no rain, maybe some showers, little spotty showers off to the north, mostly light activity, but look at the winds. Look at these isobars, those lines tightly packed, and southwesterly winds. So it's going to be a mainly sunny, windy, warm day tomorrow, Friday. The severe weather will be back here again in parts of Oklahoma and western Arkansas. And here comes our system right there for Saturday. Now, let's get into Friday night. Friday evening, still breezy and warm here in really all of Kentucky. You see some showers trying to get going south of us, but the best energy is going to be with this low moving through Kansas and setting us up. There's our next cold front. This is the third cold front that will be pushing through. We had one yesterday, we had one today, and now we're going to get one on Saturday. No, wait a minute, two fronts. This is the second one. The third one, the third cold front, is going to be what comes through on Wednesday, which I'll show you in a moment. So this is 6 p.m. tomorrow evening, Friday evening. We're quiet. Now, as we get into early Saturday morning, we will begin to see, and still gusty winds, we will begin to see some light rain showers, but here is the main line of rain and thunderstorms with the second cold front that is going to push in, and it just reset on me. There it is, 6 a.m. Saturday. Now, let's go to 6 p.m. Saturday. Saturday evening, the front approaches. And this is where, and there's a little disturbance pushing out ahead of the main cold front, and it's along that disturbance. When it pushes through, say, midday, mid-afternoon to early evening, that is going to be when we see the better potential. If there's going to be severe weather, that's where it's going to be. There may not be any, even though I showed you that 5% chance of any kind of severe weather, maybe. But if we can keep it cloudy and we can just keep it rainy, then we're good. And then it will all be about potentially heavy rain instead of storms, severe weather. Okay? But that's a big if, but there's Saturday evening. Now let's go to Sunday morning. And after we've changed the time and moved ahead 1 hour, notice everything goes from 6 to 7. That's because of the time change. Daylight saving time starts Sunday, 2 a.m. But here's 7 a.m. Sunday morning. Some of you will be up and getting ready for church. The front will have passed. Severe weather threat gone if there was one. And most of the rain should be kind of leveling off or dissipating somewhat, but it's not entirely going to go away. That's the thing. Because as we go from 7 a.m. Sunday to 7 a.m. Monday, we get lingering showers here in southern Kentucky because of this front, which begins to fall apart, but there's still enough energy here to set off some rain. Showers. Here's 7 a.m. Tuesday, and here comes the third system. So Tuesday, we're setting up a big arch of rain right there ahead of the system. And then we get into Wednesday. Here comes cold front number 3 with the showers and the thunderstorms. And after that, here comes cold front number 4. This one is the one that has colder air behind it. Now, Not extremely cold, just maybe I should say cooler instead of colder. But you can see that they're going to get snow in parts of Minnesota, Wisconsin, the Great Lakes, down into Iowa, maybe Nebraska. Yeah. How about Thursday, 1 week from today? Well, any kind of wintry weather is going to stay up in the Great Lakes. We stay warm enough for a little bit of leftover rain, but it's going to get cooler. I mean, it's going to get much cooler as we head into next Thursday. We're talking about a 20-degree drop in temperature. You know, we're going to go like from 75 next Wednesday to 55 next Thursday. But that 55, that's where we ought to be for a high temperature. Let's go to the Euro map with this model, latest model, showing the here and now with the scattered showers coming through and the big area of warm air. Look how much of the country is taken in by just, we have some Pacific air and we also have Gulf air. That's all setting all of this as little pieces of energy move through. So here's tonight. Let's go into tomorrow. Just a lot of wind, as you can see, lots of wind, very little, if any, rain. But the winds will really be coming out of the south. So I was trying to draw an S there, south and west. So that's our windy day for tomorrow. Okay? That's why we may either tie or break the record of 84 set on the 6th of March in 1910. But also notice we have colder air, big trough, digging out west. And that is eventually going to move south and east as this ridge begins to break down. But it's going to take most of the weekend to do that and the beginning of next week. So here we go into late Saturday. And, okay, I got to load in a new model, or at least something newer. There we go. Here we go into Saturday, Sunday. Saturday, well, this is the line of showers and thunderstorms on Saturday with the cold front number 2. That moves out Sunday. Here we go into Monday. Not showing very much in the way of rain in the European model. Monday into Tuesday, here comes more Pacific moisture and Gulf moisture again coming our way. And this is that closed, what I was talking about earlier, closed low pressure system right here. I tried to draw a big L, but you get the idea. So it's that energy that's going to kick in and set us up for what's coming Wednesday. Before that, Tuesday, few scattered showers here and there, but it's Wednesday when things start to line up. Here it comes. And we get the heavier chance of rain and thunderstorms in a big line right there. Also notice that cold trough that was out west now starts to make its way a little further south and east. So that once this front comes through on Wednesday or early Thursday, right behind it is going to be the cooler air. Like I said, that 20-degree drop in temperature, Wednesday 75, and then Thursday, once this cold air comes in, 55. So it's going to make a big difference. But it's temporary. I can show you that here in a moment with the model blender. So there goes our line. Here comes the cool air. Cool air. Notice it doesn't make its way all the way through Kentucky. And the flow, the upper flow from the northwest, is somewhat colder, but it's not the kind of cold that we had back in December or January or even early February. This is a March cold, and it feels different. Cold air feels different, or cooler air feels different in March than it does in January. So even though we're going to cool down by next Thursday by a good 20 degrees, it's not going to be cold. And then, look, it retreats. It goes back to the north, and here comes another big surge of warm air by next Friday into Saturday. Look at that. Look at that monster up in the New England states. Wow. That's a pretty good storm right there. Snowstorm. But look at us. We're going to get warmer. That's good as we head into next weekend. All right. Now let me show you the numbers. So you can see that tomorrow the blender is calling for 82. I'm calling for 83. The record is 84. So somewhere in there is where we're going to land tomorrow with the warm wind, breeze, sunshine, clouds. Very little in the way of rain tomorrow. Then we go 75 behind that secondary front, actually behind the first front. Then the secondary front's going to come in Saturday with 75. Behind that, we do cool down to 67 on Sunday, but then we're right back into the mid and even upper 70s for Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesday. Then here's the third front, and you can see the drop-off here visually. You can see how we build and build and build and then drop off a good, again, 20 degrees. From 76 to, let's say, 56 would be 20 degrees. So much cooler next Thursday behind the front. But see this. We hop right back into the 60s for next weekend. That is more in line. Even that 57 is more in line with where we're supposed to be for March instead of the 70s and 80s. We're not supposed to be there. We're not supposed to be there. But we're enjoying it, and it feels like spring. I sat outside on the porch today, just sat there with my phone checking messages. I thought, boy, this is nice. Can we just keep this? Can we just keep this? This is nice. But we can't. We're going to keep it a few more days, but then next week it's not going to crash. It's just going to get cooler for 1 or 2 days, and then it's going to warm back up. All right? Got it? Good. All right. I want you to know that if you are in need of a generator, now I'm going to get to your comments and questions here in a moment. But many of you need a generator. You just don't know how to get one or how to maybe finance one. And I know they're expensive. Look, I will be the first to tell you a generator is an expense. But look at it more as an investment in your family, an investment in your business if you own a business or run a business. A generator is a good thing to have. Generac, they have authorized R&R Controls to sell and maintain their Generac generators. But I will tell you that Barry Connolly at R&R Controls has told me that they're looking into expanding beyond Generac. There are other generator dealers out there, and some of them offer even better opportunities to get a generator. So think about it. Call R&R Controls. Just call them and say, look, I don't want to commit to anything right now, but I want to talk to you about getting a generator and maybe financing a generator. Because most people, I get it. I don't make that much money. I don't make as much money as you think I do. Yeah, if no, no, I do not drive a fancy car. I don't have a fancy place that I live. I don't have a big house, big mansion. I've been told that's what I have, but that's not true. So I'm like most of you. I live paycheck to paycheck. And sometimes it's hard. It's hard, especially now with the Iran war going on and gas is $3 a gallon. That sucks. The whole thing sucks. But as part of life, we all been there, we all do it. Hits the pocketbook hard. So R&R Controls gets it. Even if you own a business, you're maybe getting hit. But you need a generator. That way you can keep going and keep making money. You don't have any downtime. If you have a generator, you're not going to have any downtime. Think about that. And in your home, if you have a generator, everything keeps going. Your kids, they can keep playing. They still have heat. They still have air. They still have microwave oven to use. Refrigerator's fine. Your freezer's fine. Everything's fine because it's all hooked up to a generator. You just keep rolling. For however many hours long, the power stays off. And we're getting into severe weather season. You need to think about it. Give R&R Controls a call and just talk to them. Ask them about it. 270-777-2024. Easy number to remember, and I do this like I'm touching a phone, even though we don't have touch tones anymore like that. Hopefully it helps you remember the number. 270-777-2024. Or their websites, rnrcontrols.com, rnrhvac.com. Because with R&R Controls, you will never be without. All right, let's get to your comments and questions here on this Thursday evening. What is going on with my hair? I need a haircut. So it's like, what's going on here? It's probably where I was outside, like I was talking about, sitting on my porch, and that little bit of wind, that little bit of breeze. Oh well. I'm getting to the age where I'm just like, whatever my hair is going to do, it's just going to do. I don't color it, obviously. I'm not going to do that. It's gray, it's silver, whatever. Look, I'm in my 60s. I'm just going to let it happen. I'm just going to sit back and just let it all happen. You know, that's all you can do, right? All right, here we go. Linda, loving the warm weather. Lorraine, thank you. Karen Trout, good friend of mine. Well, it's been a while since I've seen you, Karen. Speaking of hair, how about that? She used to cut my hair. When I first came to Bowling Green, she worked at, was it Castner Knot? I think it was Castner Knot in the mall, Greenwood Mall. And when I first came to town, like 40 years ago almost, she cut my hair. That's when I had color. That's when I had actual, like, brown, blondish hair. Karen, good to hear from you. All right. Rita's in here. Rita Jones, thank you. Edward, appreciate it. Here is Hulkster Darren. That's a unique handle. Question, Chris, has Kentucky started to become a Tornado Alley state? We've all heard of Tornado Alley. And yes, there has been somewhat of a shift further east. Whoops, microphone. Sorry, microphone. You okay? There has been a shift further east with where tornadoes set up. But here's the main takeaway that I want you to know when we're talking about tornadoes. Kentucky is one of maybe a handful, maybe 4 or 5 states around Kentucky that is more likely to have what we call nocturnal tornadoes. What does that mean? That's a $5 word, I know. Nocturnal. It means overnight or nighttime tornadoes. Kentucky is, I think, ranked number 2, I believe. I'll have to double check, but we're in the top 5 there, maybe even top 3 of the states that have more nocturnal tornadoes than other states do. Now, most states, like out west, have tornadoes during the day. But by the time the energy gets here, and because we're due north of the Gulf, where the moisture resides, that gives us more energy and gives us more potential to keep spinning storms going even into the darkness, even into the nighttime. And that's why we're up there as one of several states, like I said, maybe a handful, that experience nocturnal tornadoes than most other states do. So yes, we're in a somewhat tornado alley, a tornado region for numbers of tornadoes every year. But that doesn't mean it's always going to happen at night. Of course, the ones that happened back in December 11th, 10th and 11th of 2021, that was like 1:20 in the morning when those EF3s came through a few years ago. So yes, they not only happen at night sometimes, but they also happen in the middle of winter. Like in that case, a few days before Christmas when it happened. Ugh. Yeah, so that's why I say always stay prepared. Always. Don't ever think that there's not going to be. That's why I say we can't say that there's a 0 chance of a tornado. We have to keep it at 2%, 5%, maybe 10%, but we never say 0. Unless it's just a totally sunny day without anything coming in, we can say, no tornadoes today. But when there's a cold front and we get this time of the year, really any time of the year, it doesn't matter. If we get the right kind of setup, we can't say 0% chance of tornadoes. We have to say 2%, 5%, 10%. Okay? We just have to because it's just the way it is. Well, here's Chris Cosby. Why do tornadoes like to come at night? Well, I just explained that. That's you asked the question at the right time, but I've already answered it. Hopefully, Chris Conley, you heard my question or heard my answer. Here's Carolyn. Good evening. Thank you for the update. Let's see. Linda, thank you. And everyone else, she's saying hello. Here's Brooke from Glasgow. Thank you for doing the weather all these years. Well, I appreciate that. Nova, that's a unique name, watching this evening. Let's see, who else just joined? That hair is wisdom, my friend, Mary. Talking about my silver hair. That is exactly right. And by the way, even though I'm in my 60s, I am not a senior citizen. I am a seasoned citizen. See what I did there? Seasoned. Yeah, all this is salt and pepper. Seasoning. Right? Okay. One more here. Dwayne. Hey, Dwayne. It's been a while since I've talked to you. Appreciate you checking in here on this Thursday night. All right. I'm done. Catch me tomorrow morning. I'll have a fresh update on everything that's going to set up for Saturday on News 40 Sunrise at 6 a.m. Me, Ashley Wilson. You'll listen. Remember the good old days of AM Kentucky? Remember that? It would be me and a co-host like Laura Rogers or Carrie Apple or so forth. I mean, I've had 12 or 13. Remember AM Kentucky? It was always fun. Well, we have fun. Ashley and I have fun every morning on News 40 Sunrise, 6 a.m. I guarantee you'll watch it and you'll not watch anything else because we have fun. And kind of the fun stuff that I do here, I get to do on the Sunrise Show. And that was the reason why I wanted to be on that show because first of all, I've known Ashley ever since she was a little girl and went to school with my girls. And I knew based on her dad and her mom, if you know who they are, I knew that Ashley would have the right personality that I could get along with, that we could cut up and have fun and still get the news in and still get the weather in. So 6 to 7 a.m., News 40 Sunrise. Then I'm on News 40 at 9 in the morning and News 40 at noon. I will have fresh updates on the weather during those times. And then I'll be back here tomorrow night to do another one of these podcasts. Okay? Have a great rest of your Thursday evening. Thank you for watching as always, and God bless.